What if I told you that ancient Iran is deeply connected to biblical prophecy? Who were the Elamites, and why do the scriptures mention their fate? How did the Persians fulfill God's plan in ways that shaped history forever? In this video, you'll uncover shocking truths hidden in the Bible, prophecies that came to pass and those that may still unfold. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover will change the way you see history, faith, and the future. Elam and its biblical significance. Elam, an ancient kingdom located in present-day southwestern Iran, is one of the earliest civilizations mentioned in the Bible. In Genesis 10 verse 22, Elam is listed as one of the sons of Shem, making the Elamites a Semitic people with a significant role in post-flood history. This early mention suggests that Elam was among the foundational nations of the ancient world, existing alongside great powers such as Assyria and Babylon. Its strategic position and influence made it a key player in biblical and historical events. Throughout the Old Testament, Elam appears in various prophecies and historical accounts. The Elamites were known for their military strength and cultural achievements, often engaging in conflicts with neighboring empires. At times, they allied with or opposed Assyria and Babylon, shifting the balance of power in the ancient Near East. The book of Isaiah, Isaiah 22 verse 6, refers to Elam's warriors as skilled archers, highlighting their reputation as formidable fighters. Elam's significance extends beyond its military presence. The kingdom played a crucial role in trade and governance, influencing both Mesopotamian and Persian civilizations. Susa, Elam's capital, later became one of the most important cities of the Persian Empire. This city would eventually be the setting of key biblical events, such as the story of Queen Esther and the prophetic visions of Daniel. These connections show how Elam's legacy endured long after its peak as an independent power. Despite its prominence, biblical prophecies foretold Elam's downfall. In Jeremiah 49 verses 34 to 39, the prophet delivers a striking prophecy against Elam, predicting its destruction and the scattering of its people. However, the passage also includes a promise of restoration, stating that God would one day bring Elam back from exile. This dual prophecy reflects a common biblical theme: divine judgment followed by redemption. It also raises questions about Elam's role in the future, as some scholars speculate about its prophetic significance today. Elam's story is a powerful reminder of how nations rise and fall under divine providence. Its influence on biblical history, from its early mention in Genesis to its role in prophecy, reveals the intricate ways in which God shapes the destinies of nations. By understanding Elam's past, we gain deeper insight into the unfolding of biblical history and God's sovereign plan throughout the ages. Prophecies about the fall of Babylon. The fall of Babylon is one of the most remarkable fulfillments of biblical prophecy. The prophet Isaiah, writing nearly 150 years before the event, foretold that the Medes would be used by God to bring down the mighty Babylonian Empire. In Isaiah 13 verses 17 to 19, he declares that God would stir up the Medes against them, describing Babylon's destruction in vivid detail. At the time of this prophecy, Babylon was at the height of its power, making Isaiah's words seem almost impossible. Yet history confirms that this divine judgment came to pass exactly as foretold. Babylon's downfall occurred in 539 BC when King Cyrus of Persia, leading the combined forces of the Medes and Persians, conquered the city in a stunning military campaign. The book of Daniel records the famous scene of Belshazzar's feast, where a mysterious hand wrote on the palace wall, predicting the kingdom's immediate fall. Daniel 5 verses 25 to 31. That very night, the Persian army entered Babylon through the river gates after diverting the Euphrates, seizing the city without a prolonged battle. This event marked the end of Babylon's reign as the dominant power of the ancient world. The prophet Jeremiah also spoke of Babylon's fall, detailing its judgment and desolation. In Jeremiah 50 verses 9 to 10, he describes how a nation from the north, the Medes and Persians, would attack Babylon and make it an object of horror among the nations. The prophecy goes even further in Jeremiah 51 verse 26, predicting that Babylon would never be rebuilt. This is significant because, despite various attempts throughout history, the city has never regained its former glory, remaining a barren ruin even today. The destruction of Babylon was not merely a political event, it was a direct fulfillment of God's judgment against a kingdom that had defied him. Babylon had enslaved the Israelites, desecrated sacred objects from the temple, and exalted itself as a godless power. Its fall demonstrated that no empire, no matter how powerful, could stand against the will of God. The event also symbolized the broader spiritual theme of Babylon as a representation of human pride, corruption, and rebellion against divine authority. Even in the New Testament, Babylon's legacy continues as a prophetic symbol. In the book of Revelation, Babylon the Great represents a future world system of corruption and opposition to God, Revelation 17-18. Just as ancient Babylon fell under God's judgment, so too will this future Babylon face destruction at the end of time. The fulfillment of Isaiah's and Jeremiah's prophecies reminds us that God is sovereign over history and that his words always come to pass, no matter how unlikely they may seem. Cyrus the Great and the liberation of the Israelites. Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Persian Empire, holds a unique place in biblical history as the liberator of the Jewish people. Unlike other conquerors of his time, Cyrus is remembered not for destruction, but for his policy of tolerance and restoration. His rise to power was prophesied by Isaiah nearly 150 years before his birth, with God referring to him by name, "He is my shepherd, and he shall fulfill all my purpose," saying of Jerusalem, "She shall be built, and of the temple, your foundation shall be laid," Isaiah 44 verse 28. This extraordinary prophecy highlights how God used a pagan king to accomplish his divine plan. In 539 BC, Cyrus conquered Babylon, bringing an end to the Babylonian Empire. Shortly after his victory, he issued a decree allowing the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This event is recorded in Ezra 1 verses 1-4, where Cyrus proclaims that the Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem. Unlike the Babylonian rulers who sought to assimilate conquered peoples, Cyrus permitted various nations to restore their religious traditions, earning him a reputation as a just and merciful ruler. The return of the Jewish exiles was a fulfillment of prophecy and a turning point in biblical history. For 70 years, the people of Israel had lived in captivity, mourning the destruction of their homeland. Jeremiah had prophesied that after this period, God would bring them back, Jeremiah 29 verse 10. Through Cyrus, this promise was fulfilled, proving that God was still in control despite Israel's suffering. The temple's reconstruction symbolized not only the restoration of worship but also the renewal of God's covenant with his people. Cyrus's role in biblical history also serves as a powerful testament to God's sovereignty over all nations. Though he did not worship the God of Israel, he was called his anointed, Isaiah 45 verse 1, a title usually reserved for kings and priests of Israel. This demonstrates that God can use anyone, regardless of background, belief, or status, to fulfill his divine purpose. The Persian king's actions contrast sharply with those of the Babylonian rulers before him, showing that God raises and removes leaders according to his will. Cyrus's decree not only impacted Israel but also set a precedent for religious freedom in history. His leadership marked the beginning of the Persian Empire's policy of tolerance, influencing later empires and even modern concepts of governance. Today, his legacy is a reminder that God's plans are unstoppable and his promises never fail. Through Cyrus, we see that even the most powerful rulers are ultimately instruments in God's hands, fulfilling his purposes in ways beyond human understanding.